It's true. Men are now ghosting women and women are upset, angry, and furious. It was all good when women ghosted men all the time, but when men start to realize the juice isn't worth the squeeze, all of a sudden, women have a problem. Ghosting a woman makes so much sense when you think about how most women demand an explanation, then engage in belittling and insulting the men for telling them the truth. 90% of women are in love with becoming the bride. 90% of those do not want to be a wife. Being a bride gets you attention. Being a wife is hard work and dedication. Social media has allowed women to display what they truly are, and men are paying attention. By the way, it's not fear of women, it's utter disgust. This is the cost of feminism. When you put yourself and your career ahead of a husband and children, you end up alone. Traditional women don't have these problems. They get husbands early and keep them. They view husbands as a requirement and see marriage as a duty to their husbands and children. It's hilarious how people always say how much smarter women are than men. But women conflate hooking up with wanting a commitment, and they seriously wonder why they can't get any attention from Chad and Tyrone when they're 35 plus, have a PhD, and demonstrate that they have masculine qualities. If a CEO didn't care about anyone but himself 24/7, that CEO would stop being a CEO in short order. Even personal relationships have a business-like structure, and young women seem to think that their kitty cat is a golden ticket without an expiration date. Dear women, many men are overlooked. You can find him in the friend zone. And the sad part is that you won't realize this until you have failed in many other relationships. And the even saddest part is that the friend zone guy might cave in and accept you immediately. What needs to happen is that you come to him, and you both go for coffee or tea, you sit down with him, and he informs you of what this relationship should be, not independence or dependency, but interdependence. If you don't conform to the rules, another person much younger than you will. Ladies, just blame yourselves. You created this monster, and now that it has taken hold, it only seems to be growing. You labeled men creeps, and so they moved on. They now are living their best life single, without having to worry about wasting their money supporting a woman who does nothing but complain all the time about how she wants more and more and more. And when you try to reach these men after you've hit the wall, they ghost you. And that infuriates you because you used to ghost these men in the past. And it's a known fact that women search out situations where they can later claim to be a victim, especially if there's an opportunity at social currency, political capital, or cash, because there is zero scrutiny or repercussions. Most of it is pure grift, but encouraged because many hands are in the liquidation pot. That's why young men have got to be ultra careful who they invite into their verse, particularly when it comes to women and booze. I've noticed that the way these women treated men poorly in their youth is how those men treat them when they were older. Is that karma? I don't believe it matters if these women ever do any introspection or hold themselves accountable. The world always delivers an unfiltered, harsh reality. Failed women create their echo chambers on TikTok, where they give horrible dating advice to other women that, surprise, surprise, eventually fail as well. Those women have become the latest round of failed women who give the exact same horrible dating advice they've got to other women, and so the vicious circle is being perpetuated to infinity. It's actually really sad when you think about it. It's Plato's cave allegory. What does it take for those women to finally wake up and snap out of it? The root of a lot of problems in the world is a lack of personal accountability and humility, and modern Western women lack both. Most of these women are not single by any means, and by that, I mean without having at least a few men to a full roster of them. They're constantly out with different men, but the main thing is they're just being used for recreational fun. No man will wife up another man with a combative, self-serving attitude. Eventually, when they're older and their looks are fading, the realization will hit them like a brick to the face. It's too late for them at this point, and of course, it will always be the men's fault. Guys, you don't have to settle for the table scraps from these modern women. Get your act together, grab a passport, and explore your options. I find it hilarious that women will choose the same type of man they complain about and think they had nothing to do with the man they chose. The good men are invisible to you because you obviously had a love-hate relationship with being toxic, and that's what you attract. And now you are single by choice. The funny thing is that they'll delete the dating apps and take a break from social media, but will never ask the men they date why they didn't choose them or make it past 2 or 3 dates. With that mentality, how could you ever self-improve? Meanwhile, at work they want their supervisors to give them as much feedback as possible so they can be the best they can in the workplace. It's a sad excuse for women in 2023. I think a lot of these women actually love being exactly where they are. The tears and complaining, etc. are all part of it to them. They are like the long-term cons behind bars who dream about being free, but would never actually want to leave the comfort of their lockup and the familiar routine of prison life. The futile fantasy is its own reward to them. When a man and woman enter into a relationship, it usually means they are working to lighten the load by sharing the load and creating security and longevity. All the other stuff is a bonus. Women have forgotten that, or they're just not being taught that anymore. They're incapable of looking 10 years down the line. Everything is personal to them. Men are just fed up and don't see getting really serious with women or really putting in all that time, days, and months to get with women. A lot of us are just fed up and just doing the things we love and enjoy, and a lot of times it's the simple things such as hobbies. And it's hard to really tell those genuine loving feminine women these days. They are out there, but it's a small percentage of them. Social media is to blame as well. Dating apps have spoiled women for choice. They are paralyzed by choice. Whoever they chose, no matter how good, social media has shown them so many options that they will always doubt their choice. Disney has told them the princess story. They all believe there is some Prince Charming out there. Who is that prince though? Nobody knows, they don't even know. Feminism sells them the idea of being able to have it all. Boss babes and 10 tenths for all. When reality catches them around 35 to 40, it's too late. Most modern women are almost like sociopaths. They have lists of 27 different attributes that you require. Yet, you've likely never considered what a man wants in return. Newsflash. Why would any self-respecting high-value man give all that these women want while receiving nothing of value in return? Under these circumstances, it's always preferable to rent. Dating isn't actually hard for women. Finding Prince Charming, Chad, Christian Grey, Mr. Perfect, the 6'4" ripped billionaire, that's what these women are actually complaining about. For any of these women who are saying they can't find a man, or that even if they did and he ghosted them, you could show them a room with 100 men who are willing to go out with them, and women would weed out every single one of them within a few minutes. Call it privilege or entitlement, but it's there, and it's in most modern women. My biggest takeaway is the utter shock these women experience when they realize men have options and standards too, and they may choose contrary to what the women want. We're going to see a lot more of this as the years go on. That's for sure. This generation of young women deserve everything that's coming to them, and I can't wait to see them crying all over social media after they've wasted their prime years being unreasonably picky. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. And let us know your thoughts on this in the comments. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.